Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Adrian, and unfortunately, my co host Rob cannot join me for this finale review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, as we've been doing throughout the entire season of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we are doing a full spoiler review. So, if you don't want things spoiled for you, why don't you click out, watch that final episode, come back and watch our review. All right, you've been warned. So, let's jump right into it. So, John Walker has been discharged from the military and relieved of all of his duties as the new Captain America. Bucky gave Sam a special delivery from Wakanda. And also, we have the Flag Smashers who are ready to invade the GRC building, which is at the end of episode 5. And so that sets up episode 6. And what we are going to see is a finale of action and lots of tense moments and great fighting, but also some surprisingly touching moments in this episode. So I want to jump right into it, and let's start off with the things that I really enjoyed about this episode. Mainly were the things that I had mentioned before in the previous reviews, was a lot of like that social commentary, that stuff that you get with Sam and Isaiah Bradley, that whole interaction that you get between the two characters, and the conflict between or with Sam and how he feels about, America and being a black man in America, and what that means, and how America's treatment towards its soldiers, and more specifically the African American men and women that served its country, and how they kind of come back and are marginalized and forgotten and underrepresented and all of those things. And that feeling is really represented in Isaiah Bradley's character, and that part was really deep and moving. So we get more of that but we get it more at the end of this episode, and we start to see you know Sam sort of have that conversation with Isaiah, and when Sam dons on the whole Captain America outfit and he becomes the new Captain America, and he's like, I'm here to represent change and also try to do better. And that's more or less what he says in his speech. And someone who's basically lost faith in his country and all of that is in Isaiah, he, almost becomes a believer again. But the beautiful thing was is that Sam takes him to the museum and shows him a whole monument set up for Isaiah, and also I guess fellow soldiers, and says, you know what, now no one will forget who you were and what you did for this country. Everybody can remember now. And I thought that was a really powerful moment, great moment, and that was actually my favorite part of the whole episode, really, was that moment in there. But I gotta really talk about the whole Flag Smasher stuff. I gotta be honest, that was the part that I really did not care about this whole series. I felt like they were more of a MacGuffin, more of a means to an end. They were more of like, we're just here to kind of propel the story along because we really want to talk about. They really wanted to build up the character John Walker and Sam and Bucky, and that's what happens when you sort of build up a villain and not really give them enough meat for the viewer or the audience to chew on and really kind of grab onto or gravitate towards it. I just didn't really feel invested in them. So in this finale, which spent probably almost 2/3 of the entire finale just being this one big action set piece of the Flag Smashers attacking the GRC building and Sam and Bucky trying to stop them, it just, I wasn't invested in it. I didn't really care one way or another about the whole fight. I mean, there were some parts that were really cool, like as far as the action wise and the way it was shot and the way they choreographed it. Really cool. I thought some of it was really great and really well done, especially the aerial stuff that we see with Sam's, his new outfit, which he got from the Wakandans, which was really cool. Very um, in line with the design in the comic book. So I thought, that was really awesome. Um, and again, so to go back to the Flag Smasher stuff, it was just not there for me. I just didn't really care. So at the very end, it just was kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. But then when we get to the parts, because the way episode 5 ended, it almost felt like we were going to get sort of um, a John Walker, Sam sort of standoff, like, because John Walker's over here making his own little homemade Captain America shield, and Sam has the original shield. Like, okay, it felt like they were gonna kind of come, and clash, but we never really got that. Now, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll see that further down the line, but what we saw was John Walker sort of re-enter the mix, but yeah, he starts to help uh, Sam and Bucky stop the Flag Smashers, and it just kind of felt a little like, oh, that was awkward, I guess, and I wasn't expecting that, and maybe John was trying to redeem himself for his past crimes and sins, what have you, and so we get to see what happens when John Walker, that character with the Julie Louis Dreyfus, who I forget her name. I think it's like Val or something like that. Gives him a card, and I guess she's more of like I don't know what you would call her, and I'm not too familiar with her character in the comic book, so I don't really know the depth of her character. All I can really say is she feels almost like an agent, I guess, like a sporting agent. Like, I'm your agent, I'm gonna get jobs for you or whatnot, and an image consultant. That's what she kind of felt like to me. But you get to see John Walker donning his new outfit, which was where he becomes the U.S. agent, and so we'll see what they do with that character. And now I know that they just announced a new Captain America, which will star Anthony Mackie, who plays Sam the Falcon. He's going to be the new Captain America, obviously, and then also Bucky, who is played by oh wow, I can't remember the actor's name, but anyway, they will also be in the film. So I mean, maybe U.S. Agent will be featured in that film, which could be something really interesting. But also the other thing I also wanted to talk about, which was a little frustrating for me in this episode, was the Bucky stuff, the way that they try to close up the character. Because again, you see throughout the entire series or season where he's wrestling with his demons, wrestling with his past. He's having nightmares and remembering all the faces of the people he assassinated, and so he's fighting with that and trying to clean and clear his mind of that, and trying to atone for his sins, if you will. And so you get that whole kind of build throughout the series, and then at the end where there's the elderly gentleman, who's the father of one of his victims, of Bucky's victims, and he goes to approach him and finally say, you know what, I killed your son, and I didn't really have a choice, but I killed your son. And then it kind of just ends, that whole scene. And so you don't really, I really wish they would have gave us a little bit more of that whole Bucky stuff, because I think it's important to really see that sort of catharsis, him, you know in a way asking for forgiveness, in a way saying I'm sorry. That would have been great for character development, but also just see that interaction and how that conversation goes, because it's probably going to be a very powerful one and a very emotional one, and for them to kind of gloss over it and just be not spend any time on it was a little bit disappointing for me. So overall, I will say the finale was entertaining, but it had its flaws, because it felt like, we gotta do this. We gotta have the big action scene, and we gotta close up all the other things with a nice little bow on it. But they spent so much time on the action stuff that they forgot the more powerful character stuff. Sam gave a great speech at the end of the whole battle and fight stuff, but again, I wanted to see more of the Bucky stuff, more of the Isaiah stuff, and it just felt like very rushed when it got to the end there. And also, I got to talk about the surprise to no one, which was the reveal that Sharon Carter was the power broker, everybody saw that like a mile away, and it wasn't much of a surprise. And Bucky was like, "You come help us out," or not Bucky. Sam was like, "You come help us out, and I can get you reinstated and all this other stuff." And so she helps him out. It's revealed that she's a power broker, but only to Kari, who's the leader of the Flag Smashers. And when Kari dies, that sort of secret goes with her, and so nobody knows that she's a power broker yet. And so they just think, oh, she helped us and all that. So then she gets reinstated, and they even offer her old job back. But I got to tell you, that end scene there where she's walking out of like the Capitol building, and she's on the phone, and she's like, well, we don't have super soldiers anymore, but I have weapons and secrets and all this other stuff, and everything at my disposal. Like, it was very cheesy, very campy, and it was kind of like, I don't know, in my opinion, I felt it was a little dumb. I was like, oh, that's just stupid. But that's just the way I felt about it. But again, that to me is one of the weaker parts of this. But like I said, I am excited to see Anthony Mackie become the new Captain America. I'm excited to see what they do with the U.S. agent, and also what happens with Bucky going forward. Those were all the real strong points of this series so far, and all the other stuff can kind of like, I for me personally, I could push it aside and not really care about it as much. But like I said, it was a good series. It wasn't great, and I think something similar happened the way WandaVision ended. Same thing happened here, where they seemed to fumble a little bit on the finale. But overall, I will still say that it was a good series, but not great. I am holding out for Loki. Loki looks really, really good, so hopefully they can, get that one down really well. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my summary and review of the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier, if you will. Why don't you comment down below and let me know what your thoughts were on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the season, and also this finale. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was meh? Let's get that conversation rolling. Also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends, and follow us on Instagram at On The Fence Movie Reviews. And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.